Were you guys talking about a certain question, or what?
Mr. McNeil, speak to the verdict and the influence that politics has on sentencing structure in North Carolina as it relates to this first-degree murder.
What concerns me in this case is this case is involving somebody with terrible circumstances and a bad history of being in the war and suffering PTSD. And the sad thing is that because of the legislature in Raleigh, it's a mandatory life sentence, rather than the judge having the opportunity to consider all the circumstances, all the background of the individuals involved, and then the judge can make a decision in terms of what's the appropriate sentence. But the legislature's taken that away from the court and just made it mandatory life without parole. And if you do see enough first-degree murder cases, there's a lot of ones that are worse than other ones. I mean, we're not condoning any first-degree murder case, but the fact it's an automatic sentence is, I think, very unfair. And I think the Skaggs case really emphasizes that about a Marine who served our country 3 times in war and then ends up with severe PTSD. And unfortunately, circumstances with his wife led to the shooting back there in 2014.
You said something in court that a lot of people kind of, shuddered at. Can you just elaborate? You said they were both victims of sorts.
Well, Miss Skaggs, God bless her, she did not deserve to what happened to her, but she had her own mental health issues. She had her own demons, and then of course Mr. Skaggs had issues with PTSD. Military doesn't automatically retire somebody medically unless they have some serious problems. So unfortunately, both people had serious mental health issues. They both needed help, and unfortunately, they couldn't help one another because of what they were suffering themselves. So that's what's unfortunate here, is that Jordan Skaggs was a good mother, but she had some alcohol issues and bipolar issues, and Chris needed help. I mean, that's why the Marine Corps was going to discharge him.
Has he ever seemed remorseful to you?
Chris Skaggs was the most remorseful client I've ever had. He constantly talked about loving his wife, his family. He misses his children. And he took care of 2 of these children as a father, even though he was their stepfather. He loved them and took care of them. And one of the reasons he decided to plead guilty was because of Zane, the older boy who was his stepson. He did not want Zane to have to go through and testify in this trial. So, he was very remorseful. And I can honestly say that not all clients are remorseful.
When did has Mr. Skaggs resolved to the fact that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison?
Yes, he has. He obviously comprehends that. It was a very difficult decision, but again, he based it on, not having to have his family go through it, and as well as Jordan's family. He felt the trial would have been an ordeal for everybody.
Would you have prevailed in a trial?
I think it would have been an interesting issue in terms of diminished capacity and whether or not we could have got second degree. We would have just fought for second degree. It would have been close. We might have had a shot, but again, based on the circumstances, he thought this was the best route to go.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you.